Hi, it's working finally. Hello, everyone. This is Eric. Yeah, I was trying to start this, but twice before it didn't start. But yeah, just in time. I was trying to switch over to my phone. How is everyone today? If you're here, please say hello. I know it's suddenly it got very cold here in Korea. I was out. I was working at a coffee shop like I always do. Maybe you saw the maybe you saw the photo, and had dinner. Came back, and it's it's that final cold before spring is here. Oh, oops, sorry. I wonder. I was trying to switch on YouTube with my phone and just opened up. Hi, who's here? So actually, in Korea, they've right before spring, you get this cold right before spring, and it usually rains a bit. And in Korea, they call it kotsem chui, which basically translates to the flower is wait, kotsem chui. Yeah, the flower is jealous of spring or something like that. But it just means it's a final cold before spring. I have to make sure about that translation again. Hi, who's here? Everyone, please say hello. I'll also put it here in the comments. Hello. Hi, Julie. How are you? Um, Julie, how are you? Where are you from? I thought for a second. Wow, suddenly everybody's joining. Kiki, hi Kiki. Jacinta, how are you? Did I say that right? Jacinta? How are you guys doing today? And Hudia from Algeria, welcome. Yeah, so I've been working really hard these days before I start with the speaking activities. Yeah, I'm doing really well. Hi, mom. No problem. I was trying to call my mom, and they're always busy when I try and call them. Yeah. And Matt and Samsung. Hi from Kazakhstan. Hi, Riza, and also Matt Lindell from France. I hope to go to France. Maybe I've got a friend there right now, and I hope to go there perhaps for the 2000 and 2023 World Cup. I'd like to go there. Julie from Mexico. Ah, sorry, Julie. I know you were on before. Yeah, how is everyone doing? I've been very busy. I've just finished up a course about Zoom, and I'm busy working on how to teach teachers about using Zoom for their classroom. So it's all about online teaching. Hi, Timmy from Netherlands. Welcome. It's good to have you here. Yeah, so I finished the course on Zoom, and now I'm working on a I have to work on a seminar for teaching teachers how to use Zoom for their classrooms, and I think it's very interesting. So few viewers, so better for us. Galina, wow, thank you so much. That's such a nice compliment. I really appreciate it. And also from Peru. Wow, we've got a very big group today. Hello, everyone. So if you have any questions, if there are any topics you would like to talk about, please put it in the comments below. Like I said before, what we'll talk about today is we're going to talk about speaking activities. I've got some ideas of what we can share for that. And yeah, any topics you want to talk about, we'll talk about that for about 30 minutes or however long we want to. Yeah, so I was just saying, I think it's very interesting. So I'm planning a seminar. I have to do it on Friday already, and it's all about how we can use online and how we can improve as teachers teaching online. Let me hear about you guys. Are you guys teaching online right now? What is your experience with teaching online? Are you using Zoom? Are you using other programs? I'm doing my classes with Zoom online, but you know what's scary? I speak to a lot of teachers, especially in my university. We've got so many professors there, and it's so scary. Or not scary. It so many of them are resistant to online teaching. Our university didn't plan for anything, so they just told everyone, "Okay, everyone, we want you to do online teaching." So everybody's scrambling, trying to learn how to do online teaching, but many teachers don't want to do online teaching. They say no, I will record myself and I will send the students assignments to do. And then the students report back and they watch that. It said it's not safe using Zoom. Well, you know what, Gloria, I think, yeah, there are going to be some problems with Zoom because so many people are using it right now, and there are some security problems. Um, but for me, it's been such a useful device for me to connect with my students. Um, and it's not like I've got anything to be afraid of. I don't really need internet security. I've got nothing really to show. Or yeah, I understand security is important, but so far my experience with Zoom has been really good, and hopefully they can make it more secure in the future. Yeah, Julie, how are your classes going? Is it going okay? Because I've been having such a good time with my students. And Gloria, are you using are you teaching your students at your school, or are you using online? Because so far for me, like I said, so many other teachers are very resistant. They don't want to try anything new. They'd rather just record their voices. I've even heard of some teachers that instead of recording themselves or doing live classes, they just make a paper with the assignments and what the students should study, and they send it to the students. And it's so sad. Oh, okay. Yeah, Galina, I'd like to do online teaching, but I can't. I don't know what to start with. Yeah, it's very interesting because I also had to suddenly start with online teaching, but I really enjoyed it because it's this new part of teaching that basically everybody's forced to explore. And for me, I really tried my best to learn some new things. During the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do more videos just on online teaching, how to start your classes, what is the structure. I'm going to give you some games and activities, how I do my classes. So hopefully I can help with that, especially if you already have students. Um, but you know, in the future, this might even be more useful if you want to get a second job as and teach other things too. I think now that people have to use online, for teachers, it will be another avenue to get a part-time job or to make some more money. Okay, let's see, Kiki. Well, I like online teaching, but I don't know how to plan the lesson. That's great. You know, actually, it's one of the things I'm very interested in. Is I've been looking at the structure of classes, because how you do it in real life is obviously not how you can do it online. And what I actually did is on Thursday I recorded a whole video of my class, and I'm busy editing it to put it out. So it's almost like it's going to be 30 minutes to an hour long. It's me explaining what the class is before, during the class, and then after the class. So hopefully I can put it out this week and you can check it out. Nadmeen, how are you doing? Gloria, because you teach kids, let me quickly see. I try to use Zoom, but educational authorities forbid it. I use Class Dojo. Yeah, I've looked at Class Dojo. It's a really fun website, but I think it's more, you know, it's great for the admin side of teaching, putting your students in rewards and the grades and stuff like that. But I think purely just for communication, that's why I like Zoom. But I understand that many governments are actually saying you can't use Zoom for when you teach kids. Namin, Sengyop, how are you doing? Sengyop is one of my students. It is permitted. Yeah, Google Classroom. Actually, I started practicing with Google Classroom because, like I said, I I I started teaching online maybe 2 months ago, and I'm trying to learn everything I can. And I've been looking at Class Dojo and Google Classroom, and it's really good. But for me, I'm starting to find my a way to teach on Zoom, and perhaps using a messaging app like I'm using in Korea. We've got this messaging app called Kakao, and it might be similar with WhatsApp or Line or something like that. So I use Kakao, which is a messaging app, just to keep in contact with the students. And I've got LMS, which is a university, is for the university to talk with everyone. And then obviously Zoom, we do an hour to an hour and a half just on Zoom, and we're having a great time. Mario, every night before I go to bed, I think about you because I still owe you. I still owe you a book. You know, I've been thinking, oh, what book can I? Mario is he's one of the first guys on the channel, and he asked me to suggest a book for him. Mario, is it for your students or is it for you? Because maybe one of the teachers can also suggest some good books that you can use. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Kiki. Yeah. I hope it helps. You know, like I said, we're in a very interesting time right now. You know, this is an interesting time for everyone because I mean, as teachers, we need to suddenly evolve and start learning new skills too. And the difficult thing that many people don't know about teachers is that you are actually most teachers are very self-conscious about our classes, especially when you first start. Those first 10 years, you're basically learning how to teach, and you know, a lot of us, we're very self-conscious. If somebody else comes into our classroom and looks at what we do and we're not prepared. Now it's the same thing with teaching online. Suddenly we have to now put ourselves out there online and try and speak with the students, and then also try and organize the class in such a way that the students can talk, and you know, you can actually do the lesson. So it's very difficult, but I think that the advantages outweigh the negatives, because we are learning many new skills from only doing online teaching. Okay. Huria says, teaching online isn't common here, but I'm trying it for the first time. Eric, how can I engage my students and how to manage the class because it's the first time for the students too? Excellent point, Huria. Here's the thing is a lot of teachers are nervous about using online classes, but we have to remember that it's the first time for the students too. So it's new for them too. How can you engage them? Yeah, Mario, thank you so much. Happy Easter to you too. And everybody, happy Easter to everyone. I hope you have a blessed day and only good fortune for you in this time. Now, the thing is, you know, okay, so it's new for teachers, it's new for students. Now, what I found with my students is I told you before that I've got a messaging app that I can communicate with them. So I do almost like a flipped classroom where I send them I send them a video. Actually, I record a video and I send it to them and say, okay, this is what we're going to do in class, and I want you to prepare this. Also, I give them something fun to do. I tell them, um, I want you to bring a photo that you can share with the class. So when they come to the class, so first you prepare them, you send them a message, you say, this is what I want you to prepare. And then when they come to class, you say hello to them. And I think if you have a very big class, it's okay to put their videos off, but make sure their audio is good so that they're a little bit shy. Talk to them, ask them questions. Uh, the thing is, you know, students really want that social aspect of engaging with someone new. Right now, the students are sitting at home, maybe they have friends, maybe they have family, but they really want to talk to people and engage with people. So, this is our chance to show our personalities to our students, ask them questions. What are you doing? You know, are you doing anything fun? Did you have lunch? What will you do tomorrow? You know, so engage your students, ask them questions as they come in. And then the great thing is if you prepare them well and they know exactly what's going to happen in class, they'll feel more comfortable too. So tell them exactly what they need. And also I like them to prepare something fun. For example, the first or the second week, like the second week we did our online classes, I told them, bring me a photo, any photo that you took. It could be a photo of nature, if you go to a coffee shop or you eat food, or you know, you and a friend, just show us a photo. Then I put them into groups and I say, okay, everybody, I want you to talk in your group and explain your photo in English, and I want everyone to ask a question. I put them in their groups, leave them alone, let them chat. Then I go and check in on every group. They come back and I ask a few of them to share it with the class. So basically, we should start using online teaching as a tool for students to actually express themselves. Okay, now Gloria asks, how many students are there in your class? Do you split it if it's too large? Definitely. Yeah, Mario, I'm so glad you caught me live. So, Gloria, I've got two types of classes. I've got one advanced class in which I have about 6 students, and then my other classes are about 16 students. Now, I've got a lesson structure that I use. So at the beginning, when the students come in, we have that warm up, and the warm up is just okay. So first, I take roll. I see who's there, talk a little bit with them. Then I put them into groups to talk about some topic as a warm up or a game. Actually, during the week, I will share. I found this fantastic site with lots of PPT games, PPT bomb games that you can use for English. And I'll send that out. I'll make a video on it maybe Wednesday or Thursday, and I'll put that out for you. So, first, warm up game. Second, that's where I usually teach something. I teach, your grammar, you go through the book. And the great thing about Zoom is you can share the screen. So, if you have ebooks, you can put it on there. Then the students practice it. They practice the activity. So I will put them in groups and they do role playing, or they have to cover something, or they do an interview, whatever it might be, in groups or in pairs. Then yeah, so here we are. Warm up, teaching. This is your lecture time, and that in that time everybody's together. Then you put them into groups to do the practice. They come back and you do feedback, and then at the end you can play a fun game again and say goodbye. Senor, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Do not worry about the books. I asked. Okay. Mario, yeah, thank you so much, but I still need to learn about it. Hi, ELT. It's good to see you here. Wait, I forgot you. Oh, what's your name again? Sorry, I forgot your name. I was watching your video the other day. How are you doing? Yeah, and congratulations. You did the 3,000 sub video. Really good. Uh, I feel like your name's on the tip of my tongue. I'm sorry. Okay. Hi. Good to see you. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, put it in the comments. If you have any comments, put it in there. Yeah, it went well. Excellent. Yeah, so the topic we want to talk about, because some people before, it was Migum asked me about speaking activities, and also Belen asked me about some speaking activities. I've done a lot of videos on activities in the past, especially speaking activities, because, as teachers, I think, especially English teachers, is we want the students to share things. And, I can talk about a lot of these specific games and activities you can do, but I want you to have this mindset of how to get the students to talk. I think the main thing is, well, first, what you can do is you should start to get students to talk um, about their own experiences, about their own likes, about things that happened in their lives, about their families, about whatever is going on in their lives. They should start using that to improve their language and to talk about. So in many games, for example, my topic for the students this week is I asked them to find, it will be their favorite. I want them to bring a picture, and the topic for the picture is their favorite. So it could be, their favorite food, their favorite game, their favorite movie. They will bring a photo. I will put them into groups and they will talk about their favorite thing. And, or whatever you can do, you can say, okay, everyone, the topic is next week. I want you to talk about next week with someone. As long as there's something that they are interested in and they can talk about, and you can lead them there. You don't want to say just talk about anything. You want something specific. Another thing that I like to do is I've got this set of questions. So, for example, I've got, you've got a set of questions. It could be 6 questions, it could be 10 questions, and they can either, ask questions to a partner, or they can do a mingle. What is another word for mingle? Speed dating. Speed dating or mingle is you give them a list of questions, let's say 6 to 10 questions, and they have to go around the class and ask each other person one of these questions. There's a reason that this is one of the most popular things, because the students just love talking to each other. Yeah, okay, I'm a private tutor here in Korea. I have a problem with one of my students. He's very naughty. I don't know how to control him. I'm gonna try to get him to be a teacher for 5 minutes, chat to him a few minutes and see what he wants or needs. Yeah, exactly. I need to look it up now. ELT. Oh, sorry. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. How old is he, Ikai? I'm guessing it's a very young student, right? But you are actually very fortunate because, you're very fortunate if it's only one-on-one. So you can have that conversation with them. You can try and get it out of them and share it with them. Yeah, great advice. Thank you. I need to look it up. Yeah. Before I forget. Yeah, and then another thing I wanted to say is right. So first, you want them to talk about their experiences. Man, what was the second thing again? But he is really different. Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right with you. Martin, there we go. Martin, thank you so much for that help. Okay. Yeah, I was about to say that, you can also do something like, you can get the students to do show and tell. So show things from their lives. And yeah, oh, he's 9 years old. Yeah, you can at that age you can either bribe them, or you can just make the content interesting, get to talk about his topics, and yeah, just have him, especially if you set some boundaries for him, like, you know let's say, okay, here's what we have to do. We have to work for 10 minutes, and then for 2 minutes, you can take a break. You can so bribe him in a way where you talk more about the things that he enjoys, or you're gonna have to say, okay, well, let's do this for 5 minutes, and then for 1 minute, we can talk about something else. Or yeah, I think if it's only one student, if they're really bad, so it's a little boy, and he's probably very feisty, especially in Korea. Let me ask you a question, Ikai. How is his manners with his mom? Does she? Because usually when I found a lot of younger boys in Korea that are like that, their moms really, they mm, he's a little bit spoiled usually. So, and then as soon as they find a teacher that tries to give them boundaries, they rebel against that. I might be wrong. I'm just trying to guess here, what the situation is and why it's like that. Candy goes well. Praise him for anything positive, be on task, completing, being good. Fantastic. Thank you, Martin. Yeah, build up some rules and some boundaries. Actually, the reason is why these kids actually rebel against it is because perhaps they don't get that at home, and they're trying to push that on you. iPad, even if his mom can control, yes, he's spoiled. Yeah, that's what I guess. Yeah, you're going to want to have some boundaries about it, and use the topics, talk about iPads, and then also start talking about iPads, but then create boundaries and say, okay, well, we talked about that. Let's quickly do this, and I want you to focus just for 5 minutes, or for 10 minutes, or just do things like that. Try and create boundaries for him, and you can make it playful too, so that he knows it doesn't really affect you at all. Yeah, artwork can help, anything fun, so have some work that you want to do with them, especially because you're a tutor, right? So you can actually change the curriculum to suit him. So find things that you think will be very helpful, and then let him talk about other fun things, or do arts and crafts. Have some fun. I used to have a lot of worksheets and stuff, so you can say, okay, well, we've got this fun worksheet you can do, where they have to either find a word, search for a word, or they can draw in, and then on the others you say, okay, but before we can do that, let's quickly do the speaking part. Okay, so yeah, create boundaries, but do it in a fun way, and never let it get to you. I think that's the main thing I want to tell any teacher. When you're working with students, never let it get to you. This isn't a personal thing. That is just the student fighting against the boundaries, and doing what they want to do, trying to be as uncontrollable as possible. But if you don't let it affect you, and you're just like, oh, let's do this in a fun way, and even if they act out, you're like, oh, let's try. Just try your best. There was something else I wanted to say too about speaking activities. Yeah, so I said, you can use show and tell, you can talk about that. Another thing, obviously, is role play. It's so difficult for a lot of students in Korea, for example. A lot of students are very shy. So what you'd like to do is you give them roles, and they create the conversation themselves, right? So you say, okay, well, you're a policeman and you did something bad. I want you to create a conversation. Or it doesn't have to be such a big role play. If you are talking about a situation, just tell the students, okay, guys, I want you to make a conversation. This is the topic. And then put them in a group, let them create a conversation, and then come back to you. I feel like, a lot of times as teachers, we are looking for golden bullets. We're looking for these special activities that, are really good and interesting. But then, you can only use it once, and that's the thing is, instead of having these fancy games and activities that you can do, instead just take these principles that you can use in your classrooms. For example, in most of my classrooms, like I said, these online classes, I start every class the same. I ask them to bring something from their lives, or I give them some questions, and I say, okay, prepare this, bring it to class, and talk about it. I put them into groups. They talk about it. They ask each other questions. They come back to the class. We play a game to decide who will report back to the class, and then they report it back to the class. Yeah, unpredictable roles, but characters in a bucket, place in another bucket, and phrases in. Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah. So yeah, characters in a bucket, put places in another bucket, and then phrases in one final bucket. Each student picks up a character, a place, and a phrase, and use. Naza, you made it. Hi. Yeah. Martin, fantastic game. What Martin just said, Martin from ELT Experiences, he basically says, you have characters in a bucket, you've got a place they have to be, and then also some phrases, and they have to make up their own stories. I used to love to do things like that, or cards. I always had card games to play with the students because it's something they can hold on to, and then they can use. Nazar, how are you doing? And Mario, let me ask you, how are you celebrating Easter? Everybody else, if you have any questions, put it in the comments. We'll talk about it. Martin has been giving fantastic advice. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so I in the past I used to use a lot of card games. Really useful. The students like to pick it. Even if they pick a card and they have to explain it, for example, or Pictionary where they have to draw it. All these things really work. Slang words. So Julie, what's your question with slang words? Teaching slang words? Using slang words? See, I have a problem with slang actually, because for myself, as an English teacher, I came from South Africa, where we have a South African accent, and we've got South African slang too. Oh, Nazar, that's a good one. Okay, so Nazar's asking, he's trying to figure out today's topic because I'm bouncing around between different topics. Actually, Nazar, I tried to start the live stream, and when you start the live stream, you have to put in a topic. And 2 or 3 times it didn't want to work, so I put in the whole topic, and I would put in what the topic is for today, and it didn't work. So finally, I just said teacher talk, and it started up. Actually, today's topic is supposed to be speaking activities. And we're talking about speaking activities, but you know how I am. I just bounce around from different topics. So far, I talked about speaking topics. I said there are some great activities that we can talk about. But I think the most important thing is if you can get students to talk about their own experiences. And then the second thing I said is you can also do some type of role play where you put the students into groups or with pairs, and they have to create their own conversation about a topic or something. And then the third thing I wanted to say is, you can make something fun. That's where you can use objects in a room, or you use card games. Martin had a great activity that he suggested, where you put phrases and characters in a bucket and they have to pick something, and it's they have to do something like that. RBG, how you doing? I'm trying to see there. Needs to die. RG. Who's RBG? RBG needs to die ASAP. RBG sounds like a really bad person. I'm trying to think who RBG is. Anybody have any idea who's RBG? Yeah, other speaking activities, actually I did 2 videos on it, but something that I would really like to, and I've also done a video on flashcard games for kids, where I also have some ideas for speaking activities. They are, you can do things like taboo, you can do debates, you can do interviews if the students are older. Ruth, okay, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Okay, is she a judge or something? I think I forgot who that is. But anyway, RBG, so nice to have you here. Carlos, how are you doing? Oh yeah. So another thing I wanted to say is when it comes to speaking activities, you can do some fun things where there's one student that sits out, and the group have to create a story. For example, one is alibi, where a student leaves and all the students have to come up with the same alibi, and then the student comes back and has to ask them questions and find out, which group has the best. Yeah, the Supreme Court, but can they no, they can't retire, but I heard they might change her. But yeah, they might change it to someone else when she gets too old. Well, what's the other thing? Oh yeah, so another thing you can do is taboo. Taboo is where we played it with cards before, but the students have to explain something without using a certain word. I think there's another word for that, hot word or something like that. But yeah, so that's another thing you can do, is actually having the students play some kind of game where they have to explain a word or they have to explain a topic. Here's something you can do. Actually, I just remembered it. So what you do is you let the students write down 10 words. Every student write down 10 words on a piece of paper, put it up, give it to random students, and then the students have to explain that to their friend. You give them 2 minutes to explain it. Yeah, so that's something you can do. Yeah, guys, listen, try not to get too technical. You can have a lot of fun with just a piece of paper and a pencil. Maybe that will be a topic for a future video, topics that you can do just or games you can play with a piece of paper. I'm sure you can. Okay, let's see. Mario, Marian, hi from Argentina. Man, I've got so many people joining from Argentina. I really appreciate it, guys. I think I really need to visit sometime. Gloria, could you go through a sample teaching session with Zoom sometime, if possible? Gloria, actually, definitely. So pretty soon, I shot a video where I show what I do with the class, and for Friday, I'm preparing a seminar just on teaching where I'm going to exactly explain what I do step by step. Use with I use it as it is. Okay, yeah, exactly. I let them use the words. Yeah. So I think this is something very important that I use with my students too. I have these cards with taboo. So you have the cards, and then they have to explain the word at the top. They have one word they have to explain, and they can't use the words at the bottom. What I do is I start off and I tell them, explain this word, and you can use these words. Actually, you can use these words to help you. And the students actually start doing taboo. They explain the words, and then 5 minutes later, I say, okay, stop. This is way too easy. New rule: you can't use the words at the bottom, and then they do it. And this is a valuable lesson for most activities that we do in class. I think, as teachers, we make it very complicated for ourselves because we think, oh, it's too simple, it's too easy. So we already start at a difficult level. What we have to do is we have to actually scaffold our activities. Start at very basic, make sure they understand, and they learn as they go. And that's something I found with Zoom or online teaching, for example. So there are many functions in Zoom, and this is a great tip, by the way. If you're using Zoom, Gloria, this is a great tip that I'll talk about too. I scaffold the way that I teach the students how to use Zoom. For example, the students are busy with an activity in groups and they come back. I want to pick some students to give feedback. So what do? I open up a whiteboard and I say, okay, everybody, quickly write down your names. The last 4 people will do the feedback, and the students don't know, and they try and figure it out, and it's like a game for them to figure out how to write something. So then the last 4 students. Then the next week, I open up the whiteboard and I say, okay, I want everybody, and some students are already writing their names down, and you say, no, that's not what I said. Next, I want students to actually write it in text. So they have to type it. So then they're looking, oh, how do I have to type it? The next time I will say, okay, I've got four circles. I want you to write your names in a circle. So you upgrade every time and you scaffold your activity. So start very basic and increase the level of difficulty as you go on. Yeah, so let's see. Nazar, can you invite me to join one of your Zoom classes? Sure. Actually, Nazar, like I said, I shot a whole class, and I'm going to put it out with all the boring parts out and leaving the whole class. But yeah, you're welcome to join. It's really fun, actually. I have a really good time with my classes. I've got a class. So my classes are tomorrow, Korean time, 1 to 5, around there. Yeah, I'm loving my classes. I'm having such a good time just chatting to the kids, because it's just like in my normal class, but it's a little faster for me just to ask them questions too. And it's very comfortable just sitting at home. Yeah, my classes are going really well. I enjoy it. Has Next Dynamic or not for young teacher, Eric? Has Next Dynamic? Sorry, Mario, I don't understand. Yeah, guys, any more tips or questions? I think this was actually right before I started today's live stream. I thought, oh, I feel a little tired. I'm gonna sleep. But as soon as I start chatting to you guys, I feel like, wow, I'm having fun, and I can just chat about stuff. Yeah. Do you have any final questions, everyone, before we end this live stream? Yeah. So this week, just a quick recap while I'm waiting. So I've got my normal classes, and I'm also busy working on that seminar about live streaming with Zoom. In the future, you can expect a lot of videos about online teaching, especially with Zoom. Yeah, Gloria, I think you might enjoy coming to my class. Because somebody told me the other day, I think it was Christina who said, I told Christina, I'm having so much fun in my classes. I'm really enjoying my classes, and I think the students are also enjoying it. And she said, Eric, but that just because students enjoy classes doesn't mean they learned anything. And while I agree with that, and I understand that, I just feel like I've taught for 10 years, and now suddenly I'm doing these online classes, and I'm just having a lot of fun with it, I have to say. So yeah, I hope I can share some of these ideas, and I hope your classes can also have that same impact as mine have. Okay, everyone, anything else? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that seminar is next week, Friday. I'm actually going to Seoul. Well, Gloria, I have to send you a link. I'll have to invite you. But first, let me show you. I'll show you that video first of my class. Maybe on Wednesday it will come out. I just have to edit it, and then next week I will send you my. Next week I will ask for your email, and maybe next week I will let you join. Nazar, if you want to join my class too, you're more than welcome to. It's basically me talking like this, but I will ask you more questions and play some games. That's basically it. Yeah, so Gloria, Naza, or anyone, maybe next week, if you want to, I will invite you to some of my online classes. But Wednesday, I will send one out. Okay. Everyone, have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a beautiful week. And yeah, have a nice Easter, like Mario said. Okay, everyone, have a good day. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.